Yeah. Let's go through it. What do you bring that's different? I'm open-minded and mature. Well, a lot of girls are. I'm me. I'm a singer. I have blue eyes. I'm not shit on nonchalant. I have essence. And then you said you play the piano. The reality is, ladies, is that you guys think you got. So here's the thing: we lie to women. We tell them that they're special. We tell them they're irreplaceable. We prop them up to think that they're, individual. The reality is, you guys are all very similar and behave the same way. So since you guys are all very similar, men want a variety of different women when it comes to looks. You guys are not as special as you think you are. Men always want other chicks. That's just how it goes. Now, women are not that special.
Hey guys. Something had happened to me that made me think that this would be a good thing to pass on to other people. Because sometimes, not all people, I love to believe that there's people out there who would never do things that make it seem like they've been claimed by the darkness. But there are some people out there who will do anything and everything to win and get a one-up on you. And I just want to touch on that. This is not really about that, but I want to touch on it. I was scrolling through YouTube because I was anxious and I wanted to wait for myself to calm down. I saw this YouTube short, and in this YouTube short, oh, by the way, if you keep seeing me looking off, it's because I wanted to write my thoughts down, because after this happened, I felt a little bit all over the place. Anyway, I found this YouTube short, and in this video, it emotionally impacted me deeply, but that was the purpose. And I don't feel like a lot of people realize this, and I didn't realize it either until I learned it, that people will say emotionally charged things to you when they're trying to prove a point in an issue or an argument that they have, hoping that you will look over the fact that they don't have any evidence to prove what they're saying. This is called the emotional fallacy, and it's more common than you think it is. And after talking to myself and talking to my sister, I was able to pull myself out of this. But they do this to manipulate you into thinking that their side is right. And as someone who absolutely hates, with the fucking passion of all the 7 C's, one-sided arguments and people who have no evidence, I'm going to try my best. Oh, and as the fallacy of the burden of proof, which means that if you say someone is wrong, you have to come up with a proof to prove them wrong. You just can't say that they're wrong. And I'm going to try to intend to do that. Okay, so in this video, he says that all women are the same and they act the same. So that's why you have to go out and find women who look different to have more variety in your life, and you should deal with it. But even on a basic elementary level, this still makes no sense, because they can't be all the same if they look different. And this is a common fallacy that is called the apple and orange fallacy. This fallacy means that people sometimes try to make the argument that because something is similar that they are the same, but it's not true. Just because something is similar doesn't make it the same. women biologically all can have breasts and vaginas. And there's even some women who don't even have vaginas. But he's not ready for that conversation. But still, once again, even on a very like neutral, basic level, they're still not the same because one lady could have double D's and the other ones can have A's. That's an indication that they're different. Once again, just because they're similar does not make them the same. Veronica and Jessica both could like flowers, but Jessica's allergic to flowers. Yes, they both like flowers, but Jessica can't have them around. Just because they're similar does not make them the same. The logic he is using is like saying that I'm human and he's human, and we both have blood flowing through our veins, so we're the same person. It's not true. It's further from the truth. Even in a cellular level with our DNA, it is imperative that we have different DNA from one another because inbreeding has never worked and it never will work. Inbreeding is when you take two people of the same DNA chromosome matches and they have a baby. And this opens up your baby to more possibilities of having a cognitive disease and becoming very ill. And that's why it's very important to be different from each other in DNA matches. So that way your baby will have a higher chance of survival. And it's even for our survival as humans. You can Google this stuff and you can look and see royalty and noble families and emperors who have been inbreeded and see how they lived their lives and how that went for them because they wanted to have the same mentality of if it's the same if it's identical, no, if it's similar then it's the same. Another fallacy that I would like to point out is slippery slope fallacy. This fallacy means that you're trying to say that if A happens, then B is going to happen, which is a lie. A and B are both independent events by themselves. A is 50% likely to happen, B is 50% likely to happen. The more variables you add, the less likely something is to happen. So let's say, like he said about looks, if you add looks and you change that one thing, that still cuts it in half further by 25%. And so that means that it's 25% less likely to happen than before, when it was only 50% before. Which even from a statistical standpoint still means that just because it's similar doesn't make it the same. It's even proven more that it's even more different now. His assumption that all women are the same and act the same is really flawed. Even behavioral wise, it's flawed. Something that drastically can change one woman could not affect another. Because there is no definitive way to say that something happening to this person, which are the same event, they're going to react the same. Because that's not possible. Just because people are telling you should be happy because you got a new car doesn't mean that you are going to be. Maybe you're upset because you're like, damn, now I gotta pay extra insurance and damn gas is expensive, like that, but that's the way you see it. And that's different than the way that other people would see it. Just because A happened doesn't mean that B is going to happen. Just because you got a car, which is the A, doesn't mean that you're going to be happy about it, which is the B. And people think that because A happened, B is going to happen, and it doesn't make sense. With that all said, we can come to the conclusion that there is no possible way that we are all the same. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.